through the login part for the package. The next stage that I would like to demonstrate will be the actual order. So actually buying and selling not only the stocks. So there will be three parts. I would like to demonstrate buying and sending orders of the buying and selling of the stock itself, buying and selling options, and lastly, there's a new feature for cryptos, and Webull has recently, I believe it's later this year, Webull started supporting buying and selling cryptos. So let's begin with stocks first, and this part of the code on the top is just the part where we have demonstrated in the previous video. And one thing to note about is that in order to do an actual trade, you will need to include your trade token or the pin in your Webull account, and in your app there will be a trade token. So after you log in, even if you have provided the credentials, you will still need to provide your trade token every time when you do an actual transaction, or actually buying and selling stocks, options, or maybe cryptos. And so let's begin with the buying and selling of the stocks first. And before buying and selling stocks, it's more, although I don't recommend relying on the real-time prices or the real-time ticks from the Webull app, but I do recommend that before actually buying and selling stocks, we get the code from Webull's server to make sure what the price of the stock is at the moment before we actually send the order. And this get code endpoint will be the endpoint to grab the price of the stock. And so this is the Webull demo Python file, and if I run this will basically try to print out the price of the current stock for Apple. So as you can see here, this is the information for the stock, for what the stock price or the current quote for Apple looks like. And this is also the response from the JSON or from the endpoints are always in JSON. So if you don't see it very clearly, you just need to use some online tools like this to parse out the JSON. And I believe that usually it's called the price, and there is I think for Webull it's not so easy to find out the price, but usually you can find the bid and the ask price, the bid list and the ask list, and between these are usually what the price of the stock is at. Since Apple stock is quite liquid, so probably between the ask and the bid there's only 1 cent. So in this manner, so if we actually do, so now we got the code or the price, we will just need to if you're using an actual trading script or trading bot, you can store this information in a variable, and either you can do either you can take the bid ask spread or take a midpoint between the bid ask spread and put the price. Or if you want to be more conservative, I also recommend that, for example, if you're on the buy side, you can use the bid list to buy as your buy price, and if you are on the sell side, you can use the higher price, the ask list, for your sell price. And so since I don't want to do a real order, I want to show how the order ends up. So I'll do a lower price to let you see how it looks like, and the quantity will be 1. And there are some other variables. So for example, if you go to the actual list, and by the way, you can always find the what the variables are in here. So for example, if you're on the buy, you can do buy, and if you're on the sell, you can do sell. And the action, if you don't input any action, the default will be what's in here. So the default is the buy, and the default for the order type will be limit, and enforce would be good to cancel. And there are other types here. And for trading bot and for trading scripts, my tip or my recommendation is to put limit orders instead of market, because you always want to control the price that you make your orders at. And on the market orders, usually if the price changes, you might be able to fill your orders quicker, but the orders might not be filled at the desirable price. And actually, even if you buy the stock or sell the stock with the limit price, at the end of the day, if the order doesn't get filled, you can always come back and cancel the order and recalculate what your position and your cash is. So yes. So let's try placing the order here. I know that the price for the Apple stock is around 130, but let's do this. Let's buy the stock at 100 and see how the actual result will be like. So now I don't need the quote, so I commented off the quote part, and I tried to place an order. Okay, so as you can see, the order is placed here, and the order ID is this one, and the order has been successfully placed. Using the script, now I'm double checking if the order does indeed apply on the or show up on the Webull application, and this is the website, the web version of the app, and there is indeed a Apple and buy order for Apple limit with the limit price at 100 with good to cancel. So this is indeed the order that I just placed. And now let us see what the order will look like, or the order looks like here. As I mentioned before, because we're using limit order, so sometimes at the end of the day, if the orders are not fulfilled, we will need to cancel those orders and either put back the cash or actually subtract the cash and add the positions into our database. So let's see what this endpoint, the get current orders endpoint, looks like. So the information for get current orders endpoint will be all the orders that are standing or are open. So for example, if the orders are not fulfilled, they will show up here. And let's take a look. So as expected, the Apple order will probably show up here. So as we can see that the order is still working, the status is working, which is the how Webull defines open order, which is also working. And as we know that the order from the previous order, the ID is this. So the order ID equals this. So let's what happens if at the end of the day, if your script wants to cancel or to actually cancel the order and to add back the cash value? So the order ID, and the cash value that you would want to add up will probably be the limit order price that you placed, which is the limit price. So with this information, you will be able to cancel this order and add back the price at the end of the day if the order is not fulfilled. And you can always use the cancel order endpoint, this one, using the cancel order. So for example, order ID is equal to, no, it's an integer, so we need to convert this to integer as well. And with this, the order will probably be cancelled. True, so the order is cancelled, and we heard the sound, so the order disappeared from here, and probably this is the cancelled order that we have just done. And if you want to do this for sell orders, it will also work out as well. There are many people who asked about options on issues, so let's do a demo on the issues for the options as well. So the options is a little bit more complicated because for a simple stock there's only a buy and sell side, but for options, since the option itself can include different expiration dates and different strike prices, so we will need to get the different versions or different variations of the options first, and this will demonstrate what is available of these options. So there is a lot of data in the options, but we will here. As usual, we will copy paste this and take a look at how the options actually look like. So this is the option chain for the Apple stock, and it includes various option prices, strike prices, and probably variations of the dates for the options as well. So for the sake of simplicity, we will take we'll take this one. So we will get this option ID. So this specific strike price will be 160, and yes, the 160 strike price, and the ticker ID is actually different. So Webull has a system called the ticker ID for each stock. So for a simple stock like Apple, if you want to get the ticker ID, it will probably be this number, the long ticker ID, because this is an option. So the ticker ID is different for the tool, and this will be a longer ticker ID for Apple, but essentially this means the ticker ID for this specific strike price at this expiration date for this option, for this specific option for Apple. And if we want to buy or sell this specific call at the $160 strike price expiring December 31st, we will need to get this ticker ID and do an option, do a place order option, and using these limit prices. Again, if you are not sure about what variables are available, you can always go to the place order options in the actual Webull file and check what kind of variables you can use. And available types of order are market order, limit order, stop loss order, stop loss limit. And what I recommend is usually with the limit, because stop and stop limit will be executed automatically and are not that suitable for trading bot or trading scripts. So let's do for the demo, we'll do a buy for this option ID and do a limit order first. And so this is the option ID, and remember to get the option ID or the ticker ID for this specific option from the option chain. And once you find out which option you want to buy, input this number and the limit price, the buy or the sell, and the order type is the limit, and enforces the good to cancel quantity as 1. So let's try placing this order. And by the way, either if it's a call or if it's a call or put, it's defined with the option chain. So the ticker ID will define what the call, whether it's a call or a put option. So let's execute this and see what the result will be. So although it's a JSON file as well, but it's a lot more simple. So it returns the combo ID, and because Webull treats options order a little bit more complicated. For example, you can have different option strategies. So actually, they would group the different option orders together, and it's usually called the combo ID. And with the combo ID, you can still be able to trace whether the option order was filled or not by the combo ID. So for example, if I copy paste the combo ID, it would be here. So yes, you will be able to find the order of the option with the combo ID, and you will be able to find whether the option order was fulfilled, whether it's working or not. Yes, so that will be the part for options. And lastly, for cryptos, actually the order is the same as the stock. So basically, if you use the stock ID as although there is a separate endpoint for crypto in the package, but actually essentially it's the same as the stock. And one thing to be a little bit more careful for the quantity for cryptos is that because Bitcoin's value is quite a lot. So for example, if you are using one crypto here, it will be actually 20,000, 24,000 recently. So you might need to put the exact value that or how much you want to order the crypto and how much your limit price should be. So for example, the current crypto price is around, let's take a look. Crypto core price for Bitcoin is nearly 27,000. So if we put the limit price at about 25,000 and let's put it 24,000 and try to order 0.05. So this would be essentially effectively a value of $120. And let's try to place this order here. So there is a mechanism within Webull that if the price is 10% away from the actual price, it will warn you. So since it's about 27,000, let's put 25,000, which will be more safe. So the order is placed with the limit price, and the order ID is this one. And let's verify on the Webull app. As we can see, this is the Apple order that we just had, and this is the Bitcoin order that we just had. So let's cancel this order as well. And let me demo the cancel order for Bitcoin or for cryptos as well. Actually, it's essentially the same. So if we try to take a look at what standing orders or what open orders here are, and yes, there is a Bitcoin, and if we want to cancel the order, if we have the order ID, actually it will be the same. And let's try to cancel the order with the order ID. So essentially, yes, it's cancelled, and it will be here. So for cryptos, Webull is treating cryptos quite similar to how they treat stocks as well. So basically, if you are trading cryptos, it will be same as how you trade stocks, and a little bit more complicated will be options. And in the coming videos, I'm hoping to explain how I build my own trading algorithm, and how you can use the previous videos tutorial and this one to build your own as well. And yes, let's explain in the future videos.